Ricky Kearns Jr. from Facebook. Fantasy football. Exclamation point.
I think it was a SpongeBob SquarePants meme. That said fantasy football. So I think we should just go, I mean, obviously he didn't give us much direction. He just said fantasy football.
How much more do you need, man?
Well, obviously, if you look at fantasy football, you can't go more than 8 teams in a league, which is a little tricky, right? But
no, I mean, I disagree with that. I think it would be more
what
of
do you mean?
a.
I mean, you can only have one quarterback.
Maybe it's all flex positions, and maybe
I don't know. I like
maybe
that.
it's a
Now you're making it like way complicated.
Why? It's
Because you have to devalue quarterback
you
points.
devalue quarterbacks. You would put like maybe 3 points for a touchdown, 1 point for every 30 yards. So now instead of a quarterback getting 30, 40 points, they're now more down to earth and getting 10 to 15. But you don't, like you said,
devalue the position in the play.
Okay,
I get where you're going.
Well, I think you
you're
need to
going.
make it simple so fans can play.
I think
Like, I mean, that makes sense
if you
to
do
us.
8 teams, then like, what if I pick a quarterback and in the second round pick another quarterback? Like, I automatically have 2 of the starting quarterbacks on my team.
What if it's like daily?
You put a roster restriction on there.
What if it's
Most
like
leagues
daily
have that.
fantasy, right? Where you're given a cap.
Daily fantasy, that's where you gotta go with
right,
it.
and then so your team, you
Yes.
essentially refresh your team every week.
Yeah.
And then every Saturday or
That's a good point.
Every Saturday or Sunday, you just have to set your lineup, and then you get a certain cap, and you pick and go.
I do think daily would be, if I had to choose one for the XFL, daily would be.
See, I'm not big
preferred
into
over season.
daily. I don't play it too often.
You
so.
don't, but I'm telling you, I think with the limitation of teams, I think it makes sense.
Yeah.
You're given a certain budget you can spend.
You think they should just focus on daily and not have like a?
Well, I think as the league expands teams and you just have more players to select from, I think that you'll be able to do the kind of fantasy football that we're all used to. But when you're in 8, that really limits to what you can do unless you really change the rules.
Correct.
Right, but I think daily fantasy kind of adds
It
unique.
it limits.
It's a lot of
obviously
finagling
the
you
amount
have
of
to do with the
people that you
rules.
can have in. I don't know how much it limits.
For a season-long league.
It just it limits the amount of people you can have in the league. But
Well,
other than that, does it really?
It's a very
limit you?
dynamic league too. So like, I think we don't know who necessarily is that good yet. And so like week to week, we're gonna find out players that are better than what we
That's
thought,
right.
or not as good as than what we thought. So like a daily fantasy, I'm with you, Gus. I think
Who
that's,
would
that's
be
the
like
way
your
to go.
top players if you were drafting fantasy off the top of your
It
head?
has to be a mobile quarterback, right?
Would it? Because or would you? I mean, I guess it depends.
I
what
mean,
kind of
I'm
league you're
taking
in.
I'm taking whoever's the quarterback in Houston. Right, he's gonna be throwing tons
They're
of
gonna be throwing-
touchdowns.
yeah.
Or would you
You're
take like
throwing-
Sammy Coates, who was a beast at minicamp from all accounts?
And he was good in the NFL too. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna have Houston would go first. I mean, you're all the offensive skill players in Houston you'd want, and especially if it's PPR for a running back.
Yeah,
you're
like
still good.
I wonder if it's going to be like the same kind of strategy, like you wait on quarterback, or if you have to grab one because it's only 8 of them.
Yeah.
There's not like
Yeah.
a huge, like for the NFL, it's like you can get off the waiver wire a decent quarterback. Where the XFL that won't be the case.
So who do you think would be like so? Me personally, I think DraftKings and ESPN is a logical choice to carry a season long
yeah, definitely.
and
Well,
and
there's
a
some
daily
ties
fantasy.
to the league,
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Is Vince a principal? Is he an investor? In
Yeah,
DraftKings?
he's an investor in it, and then ESPN's obviously a media partner. I don't think Fox has like a
I haven't seen
season-long
one yet,
fantasy
no.
football. If they do, it's not very popular.
I've never used it.
So I think logically, those two, if they were announced, wouldn't be shockers.
Makes sense, yeah. And I think where the league can really capitalize on a lot of its, in order to gain popularity is really kind of embrace daily fantasy, and then we're going to get into a little later, I'm sure, but like really embracing the gambling part of it.
Yeah.
Right? I think that's really where this league can gain a ton of traction.
Yep.
Right? I mean, people are going to be, eyeballs will be on the game if you got money on the game.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, they have to put a lot of emphasis into fantasy because that's
I agree.
a big part of why the
agree.
NFL is so huge.
Well, absolutely. You get to know players that you would have never got to know without fantasy, right? You follow.
Yeah, that's a good point. It'll be a great way to get to know
You
the
follow
players.
teams that you don't ever follow.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we're all in like
Me and you
our
are playing each other,
semifinals
yeah.
or our
I'm in a
championships right
championship.
now.
I'm sweating
Like,
bullets over here, man.
I'm sweating bullets not being able to check.
Are we
what Ryan's doing right now.
all in championship games? Right? Because I'm in a championship
I'm in
game.
a
You're in one.
championship game.
I'm
And
in the
then
semi.
me and you are in a
semifinals.
as
Yeah.
well. But
I could win
right
$1,200
now-
bucks, man.
That's
There's a
huge.
lot on the line right now.
That is a lot. That is a lot. But right now, like the Bengals versus the Dolphins, which unfortunately is both of our favorite teams. But most people could care less about that game. But right now, Kenny's got Joe Mixon on his team.
let's go, Joe.
I don't know.
Like, oh,
Fantasy
Fitzpatrick.
football.
You know what's crazy is Fitzpatrick is starting against
I
like
love
you,
Fitzpatrick.
He's
right?
starting
and
against
me
me
Fitzpatrick.
in
and
championship games.
It's just killing me.
How is Ryan
It's
Fitzpatrick
just
starting in
killing
a
me.
fantasy football championship?
Because he's playing
game?
Cincinnati.
Because he's playing freaking Cincinnati.
Which we will be good next year.
What's up, football fans? Visit xflchalktalk.com to get the latest analysis, discussions, interviews, and news from around the league. You can also sign up for our email list so you can receive notifications on when content is posted focused on your favorite XFL team.